Hello, 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 everyone, and happy Easter. I am Chris with Futon Talks, joined as always by the man who rattles cages, Joshua Castro.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to be here. So glad to be here with you, my best friend and co-host.
That's right. How have
I
you
sure
been,
hope
buddy?
I've been good, rattling cages, doing what I do. So it's been wonderful. It's been very exciting.
Very good.
But things have
Very
actually sucked.
good. Oh, same here.
That's what I thought. That's the standard actual life that we live.
Yeah.
How's life been treating you? Let's postpone doing what
Batman
the people
Begins.
clicked for. Yeah. We should catch up with Chris and Josh before we catch up with Bruce. That's what I think.
I broke my toe.
No. Did you?
Yeah.
What happened?
Playing Elden Ring, of course. You think
I'm
that
so
platinum's for free, man?
I'm so sorry.
Nah, it's fine. It's like purple, but I'll show you later. The viewers
gross.
can go to Patreon and pay for that. I'm
That's
not
right.
showing them for free.
If you want
That's
the
mine.
Chris's Purple Toe sticker pack, then you better head over to Patreon. And if we get more than 3 patrons, we just might actually do it. You think about that, guys.
I'm willing to sell myself.
Heck yeah. You might get a little more than his toe.
Oh, okay. I like it.
You should like
Other than that, though, things have been fine.
Dang. Dude, that's the true sign of being an actual adult, is that nothing changes from week to week in your life.
Mhm.
Like, I talk to my parents and I'm like, what happened this week? Anything change? No. Because they are now 30 years deep into a routine of life. Nothing changes at all. Life passes at light
saw your
speed.
parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like them. So you're settling into the long walk towards death, my friend.
Yes. I've been
proud
there
of
for a while.
That's true. How's Rayleigh treating you other than breaking your toes?
Rayleigh's?
Yeah.
Rayleigh's is fine.
They're okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear,
Trying
my
to
friend.
think of anything else. Elden Ring's done. I am playing through Ghostwire, but Gran Turismo keeps calling my name.
Oh my gosh. Have you played Gran Turismo?
Oh, a ton.
I'll say we haven't talked, for those
We
who are
haven't talked in a
listening,
while.
for like a month.
Yeah, I
Straight
just
up.
woke up, so
It's been forever.
Seem tired. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Well, dang, man. How many hours did you have in Elden Ring, by the way? Because I have a little tidbit for you.
I got the platinum at 67:45.
Really? That's like no time. That's crazy.
Mm.
You didn't spend any time being killed by lobsters or enjoying yourself, huh?
No, I strayed away from the lobsters. I knew what they were doing.
That's wise. They're like real
I knew
lobsters.
what they were meant for.
You played Dark Souls 3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dang, man. Because Wyatt, my brother-in-law, friendly listener to the show, he has 187 hours in the game. And he's like halfway through a second playthrough. It's a lot of time, right?
Okay.
It's like crazy.
Okay.
I don't know. It's pretty interesting, like seeing how people progress totally differently through the game. Like I've probably got like 5 or 6 bosses left, and I'm 80 hours in, and so I'm nowhere close to the platinum.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to see how the different people, do. But I've been doing a lot of multiplayer, doing a ton of playing with other people.
I did not do any multiplayer. So.
Oh, dude, it's so fun. It's so fun to actually like help someone else through the game and like discover it together. So
No,
sorry you missed out on those cherished memories with me. That's fine.
it's a road traveled alone.
Wow, yours was, that's for sure. A short 67-hour
Toes
road.
and shins break.
Oh,
The thorns of millennia.
that's right. But this isn't the Elden Ring episode, Chris.
That's right. That's right. This is the Batman Begins. Christopher Nolan's magnum opus.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Probably the best. The first good Batman movie, in my opinion. Like the first Batman movie that is good, genuinely. Outside of being good because it's hilarious.
I guess we should just go to our 3 words.
Oh, yes, my friend.
Do you have 3 words for us?
Like a dog. That's not my 3 words, though. But I did think that was funny, because we haven't said that forever. And I had no idea that we got that from Carmine Falcone.
Like a dog.
Like a dog. Man, what are my 3 words? I would say that it's like... probably just like better than memory. Like it was much better than I remembered it being. And I don't know what words I could use to describe it other than the words I would use to describe every Nolan one. So I want to save it for
those.
Yeah, for the other ones. But just better than I remembered. I think we've talked a lot of crap about the movie recently. And I think I was a little wrong. I was wrong. Those are my words. What are your words, my friend?
I'll counter you, and I'll say worse than memory.
You're hilarious. I knew you would say that. For
my actual 3 words as I was watching the movie were scrambled, deceptive, and unconvincing.
Wow, Chris hates Christopher Nolan.
I was watching. I was like, "Wait, what? That's so stupid."
I think the ending has some stupid elements. But I think for the most part,
30-minute intro of nothingness.
I really like the intro. This is the thing. Because, so we'll just jump right in, right? This is an origin story. It's in the name, Begins. And as far as I know, other than 89, this is the only Batman origin story movie we have. Right?
Yeah,
Forever
besides
Returns,
like animated series and stuff like that.
Yeah, and those don't count because cartoons are for babies, just like video games. But I don't know. This is the only real origin story we have, and I thought it was really effective. I liked the characterization of his dad. I thought that it did a good job of setting up Batman as a character in a way that I thought was really compelling. I don't know. I just didn't mind it at all. But maybe you're just so familiar with Batman that you didn't want to watch 30 minutes of them explaining his backstory. But I thought it was good, though. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, and I think the ninjas were cool. I didn't have a problem with the ninjas.
The ninjas were cool.
They were cool. What's wrong with the ninjas? I think you have a thing against ninjas.
Not a fan of ninjas. Not a fan of ninjas.
Like, you just don't like them. They're pretty cool. I thought it was good. But I don't know. What did you not like about it? Because I'm not like super versed in like why I thought it was good. I just thought it was a good. I liked the way it set Bruce up so that he could change, and I thought it was good that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the whole. The intro is my biggest problem with the movie because we don't see Batman in a suit until the halfway mark or 45-minute mark. And the movie's like about 2 hours long. I don't know, just yeah, seeing things I've already known before, stuff that like, do we really need all these flashbacks throughout the movie? They showed his parents dying like 3 or 4 times. And almost like that, I don't know if you remember in Harry Potter when there's that scene of Harry thinking of Voldemort, and it's those flashes of Voldemort doing stupid crap. It reminded me of that, and or like an anime almost, like needless flashbacks to something we just saw. Showing the parents dying, sure, whatever. And then they brought the killer back into the story later on, and that's a cool idea. I really don't like Christian Bale. I think I'm figuring out I don't like Christian Bale as, at least in the beginning of the movie when he's Bully Maguire mixed with Tucker Carlson. and the mouth agape thing that you've been talking about for so long is finally catching on. I see it all the time. I can't unsee it. It's the most distracting thing in the world, and he does it all the time.
I know.
You were right. I don't know. The movie's not as bad as I say it is. I'm being a little hyperbolic, but I will say I was quite bored watching it.
It carries on a bit.
And the fighting isn't really good at all. I don't like the really zoomed in camera with the close-ups like a Steven Seagal film.
Yeah.
You can't even see Bale moving.
Yeah. I'm with you there. That was something I really noticed, is that I couldn't tell what was going on with the action a lot. And I think that's actually kind of pretty similar throughout all the Nolan movies. And that's something I really appreciated in the new Batman, was that you could really tell what was happening in like every action scene.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, it is pretty just shaky and too zoomed in, and I'm with you. It just wanted you to feel like there was something happening on the screen.
Yeah.
As opposed to actually having something
They
happen.
just want you to see movement.
Yeah.
And part of me thinks that they focused on areas of the story that didn't matter and could have fleshed out other areas, like, is it Cillian Murphy?
I think it's Cillian.
Is it Cillian?
It's got to be Cillian.
I've heard Killian.
I feel like
and
it's
it confused me because I always called him Cillian.
We're a Cillian podcast.
Yeah, Cillian. Who cares what he thinks? Cillian Murphy. I wish they focused on Crane more. And the whole Scarecrow thing, and maybe even focused a little bit more on Lucius Fox or Gordon. Gordon was like barely in the movie, I felt like.
Yeah, I think he plays a lot bigger role in the next one, in Dark Knight.
And I think having Rachel in this movie, I don't know. This isn't Rachel. There's another Rachel.
The funny thing is, I like this Rachel a lot more than the other Rachel.
Oh, me too. Me too.
And she does a really good job in this movie. Like, I like Bruce Wayne and her, and I like the story that goes on between them. I found it pretty. It resonated with me a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I get what you're saying though, because this almost doesn't feel like a Batman movie, in that it's a Bruce Wayne movie. I don't know if that makes sense.
Sort of, yeah, yeah, sure.
Whereas, like, The Batman is a Batman movie and not a Bruce Wayne movie, right? I think that the balance between the two, needs to be struck. But the thing is, I really liked all the Bruce Wayne stuff. I like how he goes from being like this, guy who just thinks he has nothing to lose, who's like gonna go shoot the guy who killed his parents at a trial, to having like a set of morals and like finding his way. And I don't know, I found that to be really interesting, and I really liked his growth and the fact that he doesn't get what he wants at the end too, right? I think that's something that has to happen in a Batman movie. And he just, I like, oh, I'm going to tear this place down brick by brick, to like, no, I'm going to build it back up brick by brick, just the way it was. It's just interesting. I really liked the way Bruce grew throughout the movie.
Yeah. I think the biggest turnoff is how whiny he is in the beginning of the movie, which I think is the point. Because obviously it's like, God, why aren't you just doing this? Like, he's like becoming a screw up.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't mind the whole opening. I liked it. I liked it a lot. But I don't know. I'm also, and then beyond the opening, the middle portion where he's becoming Batman and like assembling the costume and stuff, I'm a huge sucker for that. Like, ever since 2003 Spider-Man, seeing him like draw all the stuff and like do the cage fight, and I'm just a huge sucker for seeing it all come together like that. So I love that. And I don't know. I thought that there was a lot more humor in this movie than I remembered, and I really liked that. Thought the humor was pretty good.
With Michael Caine's Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
No, they were funny together. But yeah, I don't know. It definitely isn't like the best movie. I don't think it's the best Batman movie, but I think it's better than like the 4 awful movies that are only good ironically.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, so that makes sense. I still like Batman Forever more than this.
I can't honestly say that it's better. Like, I love Forever, but it's a bad movie, you know? Like, I don't know. I need to watch it again. It's a wild time.
Yes, you do.
Val.
I like to think that when Bruce was with Ducard in the mountains, where he's like doing the whole little trick with the ninjas and like blending in, and then like they show Bruce the box full of bats. Mm-hmm. I like to think like, what if Bruce was afraid of clowns? Or something bigger than bats that can't fit in that box.
That would be very good. Vultures, perhaps.
Oh yeah.
They can only cram one vulture in there.
Little people.
That's right, Chris. That was a good politically correct usage.
Thank you.
Of the term.
Caught myself.
I'm proud of you.
Oh, how should we talk about this movie? Should we just go through the characters?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. This is like our 15th podcast on a Batman movie.
Yeah.
So it's hard. You get to a point where you've said all you can say about Batman, and now it's just this specific movie, right? Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Like, I think we gave our overview thoughts already, and we've talked about Christian Bale as Batman.
Yeah.
I still think he's a good playboy. I think he does the dual thing the best of all the Batmans. I think that it portrays the struggle the best, easily. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Let's talk about the villains, because you said you wanted more Scarecrow, and I get the impression, since you don't like ninjas, you're not in love with Ra's al Ghul. So tell me what your thoughts on the villains and the overall villain storyline, as it were.
The storyline with the villains is fine, with Ducard and Ra's al Ghul, or Rish al Ghul, or however you want to pronounce it. It's fine. I've never liked the Ra's al Ghul character in any form of Batman. I don't know. It gets into the mystical ninjas that is kind of a turnoff for me. I like the Joker, the Bane. Well, Nolan's Bane. I like Scarecrow,
Gritty,
Riddler's.
Realistic. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more grounded. They're just kind of psychotic, or they're totally psychotic. But this was probably an interesting first one for Nolan and for Bale's Batman, because this version of Ra's al Ghul and the League of Shadows is very orderly compared to his next villains, you know, where Joker is a complete juxtaposition and he's just chaos. Mm-hmm. So by that, it's good. I don't know if I'm convinced with Liam Neeson. Maybe I just don't like Liam Neeson. I don't know. The main guy for me was Crane, and I wanted a lot more Arkham Asylum stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
I definitely agree. I really like Crane. I mean, I'm drawn to Liam Neeson, and I like him, but it really felt like they had ideas for 2 movies, and they were like, hey, how can we make this one movie? Mm-hmm. You know? And this is like a symptom that's for every Batman movie. I always feel like they try to do just a little bit too much, right? Like in The Dark Knight, you have Two-Face and the Joker, and I think that's the place it works the best. But it's like they don't think they can do a movie with just one villain for some reason. You know? If you look back at pretty much all of them, there's almost always multiple villains. And in this,
Dark Knight Rises has Bane and the Vanishing Man, or the Replicated Man. It's a hard trick that Bale had to do.
How crazy was that? But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's like they always try to do a little bit too much in a movie when they could have just done a movie with Ra's al Ghul, or they could have just done a movie where the Scarecrow gets to actually have a bigger role. Because I would have loved to see more of Cillian Murphy's character. I thought he was really sinister. I love how smart he seemed, but I think it also was a disservice to his character to reveal halfway through the movie that he's just another lackey.
Yeah.
Right?
That
like,
he's kind of an underling to Ra's al Ghul, and he's not even a part of the League of Shadows.
Yeah, right? Like, Ra's al Ghul was just going to kill him anyway. Like, what I would have liked to see was for this entire movie to be about Scarecrow, and then at the end, instead of a calling card for Joker coming out of the blue, you realize Ra's al Ghul was behind this, or something, you know? And it would work, because you'd be like, I thought Ra's al Ghul was dead from the beginning of the movie, you know? And I also think this movie's really confusing on your first watch, because, like, you're like, what's the deal with the microwave, you know? And then, I don't know, you know what I mean? And then they have to really reach during the portions at the end of the movie where the League of Shadows is just completely incompetent. Like, well,
they got a huge downgrade when they reached Gotham. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Their armor turned from like cool looking armor to like Spirit Halloween Ninja Turtle armor.
It was weird. And like, Bruce didn't know they were there. Why didn't they just bring the microwave emitter to Bruce's tower and just start it? You know? Like, that was the part that made no sense to me. Like, it's going to make a chain reaction. Just bring it to the place.
Why terrorize the homeless island?
Yeah, why start with the ghetto
Blight
homeless
Town.
island? I don't understand. It was totally bizarre.
Like a Dark Souls level.
Yes.
Or it reminded me of Skull Island, the Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Yes, it did. And why is there just a homeless island in the middle of the biggest city in the United States, apparently?
Must be convenient.
It's very convenient to
all.
keep your homeless people there. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But like, couldn't that have been avoided if they just like...
Just went straight to Wayne Tower?
Yeah, and additionally, they could have avoided that being weird if they just made this movie about Scarecrow, the second movie about Ra's al Ghul, and then just do like a quad. We don't need a trilogy. We can do a quadrilogy. That's more money for you. Come on, Warner Brothers.
That's right.
So I don't know. That was my big takeaway. My big problem with the movie was that.
Yeah. I guess we just talked about Crane. Talked about the villains. Falcone in this movie, so Falcone
Absolutely
is it's not really in this movie. That actor always makes me really uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I think I watched him play a pedophile in a movie or something when I was younger, and he was a very sleazy guy. I can't remember the movie though. Actually, I think he played. Oh, it was Michael Clayton, the George Clooney film.
Oh,
I don't know if he was a pedophile, but he was definitely like a sleazy guy.
He was a sleazy man.
Always makes me uncomfortable now. He's not really in this movie, and we touched on this in the Batman podcast, and the scene where he's like showing all the corrupt people in his bar or whatever, it doesn't feel very convincing there. He's just like, oh, who do you see? A judge, a DA, and dirty cops. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. It's a lot more convincing in the Batman.
Yeah.
How did you feel? But did you not like Falcone then?
Falcone's fine. He's
I
fine.
thought he was interesting. It was okay.
It's very different. It's a very old school type of mobster. I definitely like the Falcone and the Batman more.
Mm-hmm.
I did find it a little funny when Gordon, or not Gordon, when Batman put him on the searchlight.
I know.
First off, that would be like melting his skin.
Right?
And burning his
so
clothes. And then second of all, wouldn't people think Falcon? Not
You're right.
Bat. His name's Falcone.
at least I was glad when they were like, "What is that?" They were like, "It's a bat." It's a bat because it's obviously not a bat.
Yeah.
But that is funny.
But Falcone's fine, you know. He's whatever. I thought the scene with him and Crane was good. And like Crane is bulldozing over his power, you know. Which I wish Crane did that to Ra's al Ghul to show like how smart Crane was.
Yeah.
You know? Like he sabotaged them instead of vice versa, but
yeah, it just would have been nice to, because this is the thing, like Scarecrow is all about a character who is mind over matter, right? He says that a bunch, but he ends up being the dumbest guy in the movie. I know. And I had a problem with that. Like that was my main thing. The bat.
Yeah. I love how he says that.
Yeah. Although the visuals for when they were being scarecrowed, I thought they were awesome.
Oh, they're great.
Like they look so
one of my
good.
favorite scenes is when Batman uses it.
Yeah.
I would like to see a movie of that Batman.
Be horrified.
Like terrorizing Batman, yeah. Oh, he looked awesome.
The sludge is like coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. Leather skin.
Ooh.
It's
crazy.
That would have been cool,
but alas.
I
also did think it's like, maybe I'm stupid, but like I find it hilarious that they just have this giant water pipe in the ground that all of Gotham's water goes through, and it's like 1.5 feet diameter, and they just got a big old hole in it. Like the pressure never increases to the point where like it just shoots out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure a water vein for an entire city is literally like a 7-foot giant cylinder. Like it's huge. Yeah. But for these guys, it's like this big. Like, it's like 1.5 feet wide. So I thought that was funny. It's like, I don't think that's how that works. I don't know if Christopher Nolan ever looked that up, but like they're huge. And then just like
funny. Sorry.
There has to be a better way to do. Like, why didn't they just make a way so that it doesn't have to be inhaled and can just be drunk? You know?
Because then Batman couldn't stop it.
And like, why did they never find people who like accidentally breathed in a little bit of their water, or who took a shower and steam occurred?
That's a good point.
Or who boiled water for pasta and steam came
They only
off.
have cold water.
In
Gotham.
It's because in the Narrows they can't afford power.
Yeah.
Only water. Yeah. So
yeah.
There's like weird, or like they never use their sprinklers. Sorry. Just like thinking of like the weird.
I don't think there's grass in Gotham City.
That's true. Only drops.
But yeah. I don't know. Funny stuff.
Did you have a favorite scene?
Let me think about that. I kind of want to talk about Michael Caine's Alfred.
Master Bruce. I love
this. Is just the pinnacle of Alfred's.
Peak Alfred.
It doesn't get better than
Peak
this.
Alfred, baby.
Yeah. And I think it's because I'm not a big fan of Andy Serkis, even though like he wasn't in the movie at all. But I don't think Andy Serkis can live up to Michael Caine.
No.
You know?
No. It made me embarrassed on Andy Serkis's behalf in advance. Like, not even just like retroactively for this movie, but like preemptively for the upcoming Batman movies. Just because like, how are you supposed to follow this up? This guy's literally perfect. Mm-hmm. And Lucius Fox with Alfred, I just think they're so great.
Yeah.
They're so awesome. I love that there's like a Batman team that's not lame, you know?
Yeah.
These guys are cool.
Sure.
Every one of them is cool in their own way. So I totally agree.
I never even thought about Oracle's not in this trilogy.
No.
Maybe she'll be in the new one.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I love Lucius Fox. I think that's such a cool idea. Good on Nolan for going to that character who's like not really a big character at all in the Batman universe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the only visual representation of Lucius Fox that we get besides the Telltale game.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's really cool. It's a very convincing way for Bruce to get the tech that he needs to be Batman. And for Morgan Freeman, it's a good role.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Yeah, I do like. I like him showing him all the cool gadgets, like it's a Bond movie or something. You know.
Yes. I was just gonna say that. I love that.
Yeah. No, I think the supporting cast is fantastic in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not fantastic. Most of them are fantastic.
Most of them are at the very least good. I mean, Gary Oldman's not in it a ton, but he's just, in my mind, the only Gordon. He's easily the best Gordon. You know, he's just great.
Yeah, especially in Dark Knight Rises. Or not Rises, Dark Knight.
He's so good. You know?
So good.
I just love him. I love him in it, you know? And then,
yeah,
obviously, we already talked about Michael Caine. We already talked about Morgan Freeman. Funnily enough, this is the best Rachel we get. she's
only
quite
Rachel
good.
we get.
It's just right. And then, yeah, I think the only thing that I understand someone really taking umbrage with is Christian Bale. And I like him. I think he has really weird facial hair. Not that that really matters, but I really like him. I get why someone would dislike him, though. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And the voice is obviously something that's been made fun of forever.
Yeah.
But there's some iconic lines that I really love, like the when he picks up. Is he picking up Flass or the Thug?
Flass.
Flass. And he's like, I swear. He's like, swear to me. Like, that's such a great line. You know, I love that.
Well, you got to do it for real, bro.
Swear to me.
There we go.
And then, and I'm Batman. I mean, you know, it's just some iconic moments. So I'm wishy-washy on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like his forearm things. I love that they're like such a huge part of his combat in this movie. I think it's funny because like they were always on the figures, because I used to love Batman figures as a kid. I had like a bunch of them, you know, and they always had them, and I was like, the frick are these? Like, what are these even for? And in this movie, they're like his number one implement of destruction are these like forearm blades.
Yeah. He shoots them out later in the other movies.
Yeah, he does. They're awesome. So
I will
love
say
that.
his Bat Ninja stars are pretty stupid. And
Yeah,
I think he only ever uses them in that one scene.
To take
the
out
entire
lights.
trilogy.
I love it.
Could just buy Ninja stars at Walmart or something.
I also love that they vary so much in size. Like, when he's first making one, it's like, you know, the length of your hand. And later, they're like the size of a business card.
Yeah.
It's like...
Do they really have to be that? Do they have to be a bat?
I know. It's like, I feel like if I were Alfred, I'd be like, you're going a little far here with this, Bruce. Like, not everything has to be shaped like a bat. And like his wings are a little, his cape's a little ridiculous, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because this movie is so grounded, but then at times it's like so ridiculous. It's like it almost couldn't decide. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's the times when the time where he faces Crane with the city water scene, and it looks like he's on a string when he picks up that one dude. It looks like he's flying.
Yeah, he flies a lot in this movie, like inexplicably. He can just fly now
for fun.
It's like weird, and they even say it. They're like, "I heard the bat can fly," and they're like, "I guess we'll see." And then he just does fly. And I'm like, your like gun thing didn't work that way a minute ago, so you know what I mean. It's a little odd.
Yeah. I think the bat grapple gun is a little overpowered in this movie.
Yeah.
It's pulling like, you have to think 400 pounds, like it's nothing.
Yeah, he's got to wait so
much. But
much.
it's like the size of my palm.
Heck yeah.
How much wire is in that little gun?
A lot, Chris. A lot. Also, it said it can hold 350 pounds, and I'm like, Christian Bale weighs at least like 200 pounds. The guy's big. And then plus, like, all
Plus
those
the
metal
armor.
shurikens,
Yeah.
like everything else, plus another 200-pound man, you know?
Yeah.
And also, I love
Good.
that he has, like, a bat sonar in the heel of his boot, like he didn't have room for it anywhere else. Like, dude, it's like the size of a key fob. Like,
Yeah.
you could just attach that to your belt. You don't need
Yeah,
to put it in
on
your
belt,
heel.
bro.
He didn't want to take up any room that could be used for bat shurikens, though, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I like that he put his little radio walkie-talkie thing in one of the ears.
Yes.
That was pretty good.
I loved when they were ordering them, and he's like, we gotta, like, be inconspicuous, so let's order 10,000. I love the way they flaunt his money in this movie. Like, I
Yeah.
think they did a really good job of just showing how exorbitantly wealthy he is. Like, he buys the entire company, he buys the entire hotel, he buys multiple shipments of 10,000 cowls for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
I almost wish he did the Prestige voice for this movie.
Oh, dude. Could you imagine
pretty good.
British Batman?
Yeah. Swear to me.
That was good.
Thank you.
Wow. Christian Bale, you crazy man.
I think another key component to talk about, besides Jeffrey from Game of Thrones, or Joffrey, is in this movie.
Oh, is he?
He's the little blonde kid who
Whoa.
lets his British accent slip out.
Dumb kid.
Dumb kid.
I love that
Shouldn't have
Batman
gone
is
on to
using
acting.
what must be an important tool of his to look at fluffy bunnies in a room or whatever, you know what I mean? And he
Yeah.
just gives it to the child. He couldn't give him one of his shurikens? Why does he give this kid, like, what?
Piece of
He's like-
garbage.
His telescope thing, whatever that thing is, a periscope?
Yeah. No, I should have definitely given him a battering.
Yeah, like how much cooler would that have been for the kid?
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he gets some weird night vision.
Or give him one of his
periscope to, like,
ears.
That's true too. Give him one of his 10,000 extra cowls.
Well, you don't want to get him shot now.
That's true.
People
That would
think
be
he's
disaster.
Batman.
I would shoot that kid if he had a cowl on. I would think he was Batman right away.
I wonder if that kid is supposed to be the
Joseph
guy
Gordon-Levitt?
from Rises. Jordan Gordon-Levitt.
Jordan Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Don't you mean I can't Joshua gosh darn Leavitt?
Yeah. Leave it.
We should just say his name wrong every episode now.
I'm going to. It would be funny if that kid's supposed to be like Dick Grayson or the Robin that Rise
would
is
be.
supposed to be, but it would be, honestly. But I think another important thing to talk about is the Batmobile in this movie, the Tumbler,
The tank. Yes.
the tank. How
Does
do
it
you feel
come
about
in
that?
black?
Does it come in black?
There were some great lines about the tumbler. I loved when the cops are like trying to describe it.
What is it?
Like, what is this?
Yeah.
There's some pretty great moments. Although he definitely kills some of those cops.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
they're dead. You know. Also, sorry, one more big plot hole for me.
Okay.
Batman, when you told Liam Neeson that you didn't need to kill him, or that you wouldn't kill him, but you wouldn't save him either, that's killing him.
That's killing someone.
Like, Batman, you killed him. You know that, right? Like, when you have the full ability to save somebody and you choose not to, that is killing them.
I could not run this person over, but I could look away.
That's right? Like, when you are fully capable of causing someone not to die and you choose not to, that's killing them. That's like
Yeah.
you're swinging your sword, you know, but you don't stop the momentum. That's killing.
Or it's like you swing it and then you let go and like let's see what happens.
Exactly. It's yeah. So
He
that was
doesn't
the other
go because
thing.
he returns. I don't know if you remember that.
What?
Hey, don't you remember he doesn't he return in Rises?
Does he? His
Pretty
daughter
sure he
does.
I'm pretty sure Ra's al
Dude,
Ghul returns.
You have no idea how long it's been since I've seen The Dark Knight Rises.
It's the one I've seen the least for sure.
If Ra's al Ghul comes back, oh man, I don't know what I'll do. I'll be blown away.
Yeah.
I will replace this Batman Returns poster with a Batman Forever poster.
There we go.
Big deal.
Speaking of the Tumbler and like the cops, there's a certain shot where Nolan edited this for some reason, but it looks like, because it shows Batman driving the Tumbler, and then it cuts to two cops hanging out in their car, and then the next scene is the Batmobile running over that car. But it's a different car. But just how he shot it, edited it, it looks like Batman just ran them over for no reason. It was the most jarring thing when Aspen and I were watching it.
Yeah, dude. Like, I think that's probably the most jarring scene in general, just because of all the death he certainly caused.
Yeah.
Trying to save this chick.
And what about the whole having Gordon blow up the tram?
Right?
It's going straight into the buildings. There's people working.
Gordon has
There's
never
homeless
once
and cars
operated
underneath.
This. Yes, and he misses once. Like, you know what I mean? It's just...
I love how the homeless man does not care that he shoots a missile out of that car.
He thinks it's a cool car.
He just like looks at it and he's like, whatever, dude.
Dude, that's just what Gotham's like on a day-to-day basis.
I guess so.
I will say, I think we said this in The Batman, but Gotham does suck in this movie. It's the next two movies where Gotham doesn't suck at all. And
it sort of sucks. It's convenient that every bad thing is in one part of the city.
Yeah, mostly. That homeless man is outside of that part. And he is used to missiles being fired at the bridge. But
yeah, it does suck, but the Batman definitely conveys how much it sucks a lot better.
Yes. And I'm definitely with you there.
There's layers. Like Batman Begins, its layer is there's homeless people mixed in with the rich people, and there's an island of homelessness and poverty. But then there's that extra layer that the Batman goes through where it's like, here's another thing. Here's why. You know, economy is awful. There's no jobs. Everything's on fire. There's like rampant drug use. Everything's on fire.
Dude, you said the word economy, and that was something I wanted to ask you about. So what made Gotham so bad before it mistreated the homeless people so much and caused poverty? Like, okay, I phrased that badly. He says that they previously tried to destroy Gotham through the use of economics. Meaning they tried to make the divide between the 1% and everyone else bigger, essentially. So they made poverty much more common. Yeah. But like, what was so bad before that then? Like, my impression from these movies is that the poverty instigates the crime. Like, they say that a bunch in the movie. They're like, Falcone and his crime, you know, it's like preying on the poverty-stricken people, and so they're turning to crime. And it's like, if you're in like a bad situation, you become a criminal no matter what. Like, Descartes says that. So like, the implication then is that it wasn't that bad, but then through engineered poverty, they made crime, which made it bad.
Yes.
But so why did they do it if it wasn't bad? Right? Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
What's the deal? Like, why did they have to include that? That just seemed like a weird way to try to connect Descartes to his dad.
I guess so.
I don't know. I just thought it was a weird plot point because, like, why not just let the other bad guys be the ones who caused the poverty?
Isn't Bane working for the League of Shadows?
Yes, I think.
So they tried to do the economics thing again.
Again. Yeah.
Even though it failed the first time.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
That's fine. Trying to think of anything else. Oh, the bats.
Yeah, dude.
I have a quick thing about the bats.
Tell me.
He trained all those bats.
Yeah, dude, with his heel fob. Yeah,
It's pretty impressive.
it is. That's the most impressive part of this Batman. I love how heavily bats feature in this movie in comparison to every other movie.
Yeah.
There are thousands of bats on screen. Did they use any practical bats, do you think?
I don't think so.
Because they're pretty convincing CGI bats.
They are. I think I remember seeing something where it was like a making of Batman Begins on like the old DVD, and it would be like the scene where he's standing in the cyclone of bats, and they're all red. They're all like highlighted red.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I think they are green screened or red screened.
Blue screen.
Blue screened.
They're bat screened. Each one of those was actually an individual batarang.
Mm-hmm. One thing I did really like was how Fox had his own subplot, and that he had that like that conflict with the owner of Wayne Enterprise.
Yeah, with
and
Earl.
Didn't you get the memo? Man. I liked all of that stuff.
Me too.
But yeah. Oh, the Joker.
Yeah.
Tease at the end. It's a
liked
lot
it.
better than the one in the Batman.
Yeah, it's
Tasteful.
I mean, subtle isn't the right word. Yeah, tasteful. Tasteful is the right word for it. Because it's just it's just letting you know, but it's not saying anything about it. I really enjoyed it.
Still unnecessary.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a lot cooler if you went to the Dark Knight and it starts with that one scene. You're like, oh, what's going on? And they're wearing clown masks. It's the Joker.
It's gonna be the Joker. Yeah, I agree with that.
But I guess they probably wouldn't be able to advertise that movie if
That's true.
was the case. So,
that'd be pretty hard.
Makes sense.
I kind of want to go. I wish I could go back and like experience these in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it would just be so cool to watch these Nolan movies without having seen them or without knowing everything that's going to happen. But I mean, apparently Ra's al Ghul was in The Dark Knight Rises, and I didn't know that. So
I could be wrong. I could have sworn that he comes back in some fashion, or it's like maybe Bruce looks at him at somebody and he's like, "Oh, he's back," but it's just like a goon.
perhaps, maybe he just sees a ninja
Maybe
with a cut on their arm.
I don't know. You have anything else before we get into the fast ones?
Not really. I'm excited for the fast one. I didn't think we would need more than an hour to talk about this. Just because, like I said, it's like the 6th Batman movie we're talking about.
And half of it is a origin story.
Yeah, right. And we talked about that, so I think we're ready for a fast one.
Okay. We actually have a write-in for this fast one.
Wow!
From our good friend Peanut Gallery 4.
Yeah, Peanut Gallery. We love you. I don't know if we've said that on air.
Oh, we've said it.
I love you, Peanut Gallery.
He says it's just a good movie. But one thing that may or not be interesting is that he had a Batman Begins stencil book from when it came out, with characters like Scarecrow, Ra's al Ghul, and Deckard as traceable figures. It also had the Joker, if memory serves me, but it wasn't Heath Ledger, since that was made before then. It was a weird, monstrous version I've never seen before, and might have been made for the stencil. There was also a bunch of Batman poses to trace, and I traced on many pieces of paper, eventually creating a comic with a storyline. That was the first instance of making comics for me, something I'd go to do a lot more of. I think alongside the animated Batman vs. Superman, that was my first introduction to the character. But with that, I thought it would be really interesting to see if you could remember the Batman Begins merch that was rampant. Do you remember?
No.
Like being a kid and like going to Barnes and Noble, and like I know what he's talking about, the stencil book. And then there's the Batman Begins sticker books. You know, remember those? Like people, like there was always a sticker book for Harry Potter, Star Wars, Batman, Spider-Man. And it got me thinking about how I always wanted a Batman Begins tumbler.
Wait, like a cup?
Toy. No,
a
toy.
tumbler.
Yeah, so I can drink my scotch. No.
12-year-old Chris with a cigar and a Batman Begins
No, the
tumbler.
tank. I wanted a toy tank.
Oh, that's awesome. I would have loved that. What year did this movie come out, by the way?
2005 or 6.
So how old were you? You were like 9.
7. I was like 7.
Dang.
Let me look it up. I'm pretty sure. But like we were in that, at least I was in that sweet spot where I was getting toys or seeing a lot of toys for Batman Begins. Let's see. Do you have any memories of Batman Begins merch?
So sadly, no. And I think that the reason that is because we lived overseas.
That makes sense.
Because I think we were
so you
living...
just had Bleach and Naruto.
Yes. We had Bleach, Naruto, and lots of Venom, weirdly enough. I know, right? But yeah, I think it just like wasn't available where I lived. Because I would have loved that. I mean, I had a lot of Batman action figures, but I never had one that was from Batman Begins. I had the gray suit from Adam West, like the classic gray, yellow, and blue.
I thought you meant the Liam Neeson movie. The gray suit.
The gray suit. No. But you know, like, but I never had anything from Batman Begins. I wish I did. It kind of breaks my heart now. But I imagine you had it all then.
I didn't have it all.
Or it was all around you.
It was all around me because I would always go to Barnes & Noble with my dad, and he would read in the cafe while I would go look at video game books and Batman Begins books. But do you remember like those sticker books?
Oh yeah, I definitely remember the sticker books. For some reason, I never saw them for Batman, but
yeah, no,
my wife still gets them. They're still around. So.
But okay, so in that case, do you have any memory of movie tie-in merch that you would get?
Man.
Lunch boxes, you know.
Dude, like
shoes, little Skechers that would light up with Spider-Man on them.
I feel like I missed out on the American capitalist experience. You know,
yeah.
My parents were just so frugal when I was a kid. Like they became a lot more willing to buy stuff, and I started to make my own money around the time that you and I met. You know, when I was 15, 16. But when I was a kid, man, I had like Avias. You know what Avias are? The shoe. They're like a Walmart brand shoe.
Yeah.
I had those like, you know, forever, right? It's just my parents just wouldn't buy any stuff like that was coming out that was like new. But I remember all my friends had it. Like I remember my friends had like, you know, like a lunchbox that had Spider-Man on it, or like a t-shirt that had Spider-Man on it. But like if I was going to have any of that, like my mom was going to make it for me. Yeah.
Don't worry, we have Spider-Man at home.
Exactly. Straight up. So like a t-shirt, like she would literally make a t-shirt with Spider-Man on it.
Yeah.
So like that's my experience. And now, as you can see, I've changed because I like it.
Yeah. You've gone
I'm a man
the
child.
other way. Yeah.
But speaking of that, I have a little bit of Batman Begins merch right here.
Oh?
That I came upon accidentally.
Okay.
My wife and I got the collector's edition, which just means a cardboard box set of all the Christopher Nolan movies. But it came with these pictures of the villains. And they're like kind of cool art prints. So this is Scarecrow, and it like has a quote from him on it.
Okay.
It's backwards, so you can't read it.
No,
but
I can read it.
There's nothing to fear but fear itself. That's kind of cool. And I like this one a lot more. It's Ra's al Ghul. He's all smoky. Like the...
That is cool.
This one's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Men fear most what they cannot see. So that's my big boy adult merch. No Falcone. I got Bane.
Okay.
This literally indecipherable picture of Two-Face.
Of Two-Face?
And this one's the best one. Even though it's a little bit edgelordy, but it's pretty cool.
It's a little... Yeah, that's something
I think
you find
Liam
at,
Neeson
like,
he's my favorite one. That's not Liam Neeson, that's Bane.
Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite one is this one.
Yeah, it's because I don't even see Liam Neeson in there.
That's because you're so afraid. That's why you're so scary.
I thought that was Michael Myers at first.
Man, you're hurting Christopher Nolan's feelings. Look, Chris, he put this together for me personally. Look at this letter he wrote me.
Wow.
All right? It has his signature right there.
Yeah.
So don't be mean to him. They mean a lot to me.
I'm sorry.
Wow. Sorry, I got distracted by reading this personal letter.
Oh, you're fine.
I was
this was I think the first movie or topic that I've ever done like a little bit of research for, besides just like enjoying it.
Nice. The seal of approval for Chris. The first thing I've done a little bit of research for.
There was a little documentary on YouTube of Nolan getting like the right to, be the Batman director, because at this time he only had I don't think he even had the Prestige. I think he just did Insomnia and what was it,
Memento,
1892 or whatever it's called.
Was Memento after this?
Yeah, Memento was...
Oh, it's between. Huh.
It's between. No, because Inception and Prestige are between the three movies.
So I think Memento must have been right before this.
Memento and Insomnia are before, yeah. So he was really just like a revered indie filmmaker, which is kind of weird to think about.
Yeah.
But like there were multiple directors and writers wanting to take the Batman, because WB was looking for a new Batman film because Schumacher wasn't gonna get to make Batman triumphant. And there was one that was passed on immediately, and then there was one that was pretty close to being made, which was a Batman Beyond movie, which I would have loved.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
I've always loved Batman Beyond. But Christopher Nolan had like a 10-minute pitch, and he won them over. And the rest is history. I mean, he got to take the biggest character basically from WB and do his own thing. And I thought that was pretty interesting, that they went with him. And now he was for a while the face of superhero movies in DC, and I think he actually might not be anymore. I remember him being like the person who would look over everything that DC was putting out in the cinematic world, but really? I don't know if that's the case anymore.
It can't be. Otherwise he'd be dead from sadness.
He would have fired Zack Snyder so fast, bro. I guess, yeah, now it's Zack Snyder.
Yeah, I think Zack Snyder's the caretaker. He's been kicked out, but I think that pretty much still he is. Yeah. But yeah, man, I think you're right, though. I mean, because even if he's not associated as much with superhero movies, he's definitely, I don't know, I think he's probably the most revered by the public director today. I mean, you have people like Robert Eggers, or whatever.
Ari
you have like
Aster.
a lot of other directors that are more on the art side of film that are obviously
but for like Hollywood, big Hollywood, he's definitely the biggest.
He's the guy. He's like the Steven Spielberg of our generation.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Like there's other directors that have really done too much. They don't know when. I know it's their passion, but you have to quit at some point, or
or just lay down and die.
You gotta take your time with things.
That's right.
There's a lot of people who just keep throwing stuff out there, just to make a quick buck. And I think I like Christopher Nolan, and he takes a good while for each movie.
I've definitely just been impressed by just the quality of his movies. They're just always good. You know, even Batman Begins, which I actually do like quite a bit. It's still a cut above almost every other movie ever. If you really think about how many movies are made, you know, like I watched Speed this weekend, which was good, you know, but like,
is that Keanu Reeves?
Yes, it is. Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock.
That's right.
What a time. But like, you know, so like you watch a movie like that reminds me a lot of like Michael Bay. And I think it's representative of probably like 30% of all movies that come out are around that quality, and that's like a B tier movie. Then there's like 50% that's just horrible. And then there's the 20%, and every single Christopher Nolan movie is in that 20%, where it's good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, and so I really admire him. You know, he's just a great director. Everything he touches turns out pretty darn good. Even Tenet, which is objectively bad, but I love it.
Tenet's great.
Yeah,
I don't care.
It's the best.
I know we're about to close, but he messed with some time thing in this movie. He kept going back and forth, and the only way I could tell like what time of the year was, I guess, was by Bale's haircut.
Yep. The way they parted his hair determined the time.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan can't resist trying to confuse
he has to do something with time. And he does it again in The Dark Knight Rises, where he just like forgets about time and
That's right.
gets Bruce Wayne back into Gotham.
Yeet.
And seconds flat. No
That's
broken
right.
leg.
He's very fast in The Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm.
I have one question for you though.
Yeah.
Back to referencing what Peanut Gallery said.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever write any comics?
Oh,
was that a thing you ever did?
Oh yeah, I'd get the regular like paper and office paper, and I would write. I wouldn't even plan it beforehand. I would just start writing squares where the cartoons would be.
Wow, the art guided you. I like that.
That's right. And yeah, I remember specifically a comic I did that was based off of Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance. So
that's awesome.
It was pretty good.
Were you
what
creative?
about you?
Like, did you actually come up with your own stuff?
Oh yeah,
I'm proud of you.
thank you.
And now you're a podcast host. How the great have fallen.
Yeah.
You should take your passion back up. I've seen your Jaws drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want a Jaws movie.
What about you? Did you do any comics or
Yes.
stuff like that? Nice.
I thought I was going to be like a comic artist as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I loved... Is it manga? I say manga. Manga. But I loved manga so much as a kid. I really never read like American comic books. I actually started reading them when I was an adult, and now I read comics on my phone. I read like all the Star Wars Dark Horse comics, and I've read like The Killing Joke and several Batman comics. But when I was a kid, it was all manga and Captain Underpants. And so
I never got into that.
Dude, I loved Captain Underpants as a kid because there were like a bajillion of them, right? Mm-hmm. And I did not have as much creative integrity as you. And so I made a comic with multiple issues of like 30 to 40 length, like page issues of a comic I called Boxer Boy and Garment Girl. I know.
I think you told me about this.
I'm sure I have. But I would just like rip stories off pretty much completely from Captain Underpants and like change names. And I like fully intended to sell them. Just like the kids in Captain Underpants do.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't know that because you never read them. But
that's right.
But yeah, I thought that was wild. And it's fun to know that other kids did that. Like, I didn't know that was like a thing that kids did was like draw
for sure.
comics. But yeah.
Well, another thing that Austin and I did was that we would cut pieces of paper and make our own Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yo, I remember doing that. That was awesome.
And one of the kids that I kind of grew up with when I was like 8 or 9, he was infatuated with Star Wars, and he would actually write scripts for his like Star Wars fan fiction, and
That's
he
so
would make
cool.
us act them out.
He'd make you.
Well, yeah. He had a lightsaber to my throat, so I had to.
Who did you get to play? Were you Leia?
No, I was always the bad person.
Dude, that's awesome. Were you Darth Vader?
I think
then,
it was
or who
only
was his
because I
bad
had.
person?
Huh?
Who was the bad person in most of these?
Oh, it was someone he made up.
Oh, interesting.
Every character was made up. We would meet Luke, Luke Skywalker.
Wow,
But that's about it.
That's
Yeah,
kind of cool.
He was really into it. But yeah, I think because I had longer hair, I was just, and like at the time, was it Hayden Christensen? He had long hair for Revenge of the Sith, so I just had to be the bad guy. Because
Makes sense
if
to
you have
me.
long hair, you're a bad person.
That is true, statistically speaking. So
Yeah, you're just a deviant in every way.
obviously, I mean, look at you. Look who you turned out.
Uh-huh.
Trying to send dead toe pics to people for money.
I'm willing.
I'm willing.
But I think that's it for us.
I think it is.
I want to say thank you, Josh, and thank you to our beautiful patrons,
Patreons.
Cody, Emmett, and John.
Yes.
We love you. We love Peanut Gallery 4 for writing into us. We always appreciate that, and we really appreciate all of you listening. We've been getting a lot more feedback lately, and more views, and it's a really cool thing. We're almost to 100 subscribers. We're at 75 now.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we're getting there, guys.
Yes, we are.
But yeah, happy Easter or happy Passover, whatever. I don't know what's going on. I'm not very smart, so
Happy Boxing Day if you watch this on Boxing Day.
there you go.
That's
Yeah.
right. Got to be getting all the holidays. I like that.
But we love you guys, and we'll talk to you later.
Adios.
Adios.
Sick.
You'll never have to. Swear to me.